Today, I will be discussing the Washington, DC SFRA. To start off, let me explain what is an SFRA. The letters SFRA stand for Special Flight Rule Area. In the United States, these are areas that require different, most commonly more, rules for flying. These rules may include, but are not limited to, speed, altitude, and acrobatic restrictions. The Washington, D.C. Special Flight Rules Area was created after the 9/11 incident. There are many restrictions put over the area in order to protect the federal government and the nation's capital. Some of these restrictions included the FRZ, Flight Restricted Zone, and ADIZ, Air Defense Identification Zone. The FRZ is included within the SFRA and is identified as a national defense airspace. The ADIZ and the FRZ were first temporary flight restrictions until the FAA developed a final rule that took effect starting February 17, 2009. Before flying into a special flight rules area, it's important to know what you will need. There are special requirements in order to be able to fly in the DC's SFRA. For example, a typical VFR flight includes Special Awareness Training Certification, two-way radio, mode C transponder, a transponder code, a flight plan filed under DC SFRA, speed restrictions that are limited to 180 knots or 230 depending on the aircraft, and constant communication with the air traffic control. These rules do change for different small airports within the SFRA, so it's important to check the individual information per airport. As I mentioned before, in order to fly within the Washington, D.C. SFRA, it's necessary to have a Flight Awareness Training Program certification. This is a certification that allows pilots to fly within restricted airspaces. It's very important because the airspace is very closely and strictly monitored, so if you do not know these rules, there will be heavy consequences. This Flight Awareness Training Program is a short written course followed by a multiple choice exam. Once completed, you receive the certification, as well as a kneeboard guide to refresh the rules if you haven't flown in the area for a while. This only needs to be taken once, but every time you fly within the area, it's important to check the NOTAMs and review the policies. Some example information that is reviewed during the Flight Awareness Training Program is the SFRA boundaries, two-way radio communications, and flight planning. To recap, here are some important reminders. Before you fly into the Washington, D.C. SFRA or any special flight rules area, make sure you're aware and equipped with any necessary equipment. Thoroughly review course information if it has been some time since you've flown. Carefully check the individual airport that you will be flying into. And always, always check NOTAMs.